What's up, folks? And welcome to another episode of the Shired podcast with DP. I am Despop, aka Jay Simino. And while I post on YouTube, Rumble, and as of yesterday, Spotify, this is primarily an X-centered show. So if I showcase an account, I ask that you please follow them unless stated otherwise, because sometimes I have no choice but to highlight a post from a douchebag. So if you ever see either Krasenstein brother on any of my segments, do not, I repeat, do not follow them. That opening video was from a week or so prior to Alex Pretti getting brained by federal law enforcement. I was mistaken in yesterday's show when I learned that the incident took place, but there was no video available, so I assumed that he didn't have his firearm with him, and therefore his return to the front lines was to enact revenge after suffering a broken rib. But it's obvious from the opening vid that he certainly had his firearm on him, but the feds didn't spot it. It's clear to me they just wanted him out of the way so they could leave. But he didn't learn his lesson. He wanted all the smoke. And on a cold Minnesota winter day, he had plenty of it pouring out of him. Mission accomplished, fucko. So I was in a Spaces room last night that was talking about this. The best Spaces room on X, titled Cliff, You Fucking Moron. And people were raging at the government over this, mainly about the administration fucking the message up like, you can't take a gun to a protest, or he brandished a firearm and came at police. The admin handled the messaging like a JV team. Absolutely awful. And yes, the shooting was disgusting and messy. I'll admit that, but that doesn't make it criminal. Graham v. Connor, perception in the moment. The guy puts his hand on the agent first. No, folks, he is not allowed to come to the aid of a female engaged with law enforcement. Sorry, not sorry. But why did the cop have to push the female? We don't know why, because all the footage we've seen starts just prior to the incident, conveniently for the leftist argument. The agitators don't want us to see the moments leading up to it, like maybe she fucking deserved it. Either way, the guy makes physical contact with the agents. Then this weird thing unfolds in front of them, where to me, it almost looks like Pretti and the woman are fighting. I assume he's trying to help her up, but it also looks like he's trying to rip her head off in the process. The agents now need to address that and protect her. Then his gun is observed. 2 or 3 agents yell, gun, gun, gun. Adrenaline is at full tilt at this point. This agent, for whatever reason, decides to reach around the other agents to disarm him. Seems odd, but not against the law. As he turns, the firearm goes off. Although pixelated, it looks to me like the agent's finger is not on the trigger. This is a SIG P320, famous for accidental discharges. And that's it. The dominoes started when Pretti got involved and placed his hands on the agent. And once the dominoes start, it sets up a perfect storm. Gun, gun, gun. Round goes off. Pretti looks like he's reaching. And in a lot of cases, people carry a backup. Boom, boom, boom. From the accidental discharge to his death, it happens in a second. Awful, tragic, messy as fuck. Legally justified because Graham v. Connor is met. That doesn't mean that the agents won't be made an example out of. Lawfare seems to be the standard of today. So I want to address the question posed last night during the Spaces room. I was just listening in, and it was a huge room, but a question was asked. Why does it take so many cops to take someone down? This is a question I've been asked since my rookie year in 1997, and I'm still asked today by a lot of people, even though I retired in 2020. In my academy, one of the instructors took the 5 biggest men in the class, all over 6'3" and over 200 pounds. The instructor, a sergeant, was 5'7", maybe 160 tops. He challenged them to handcuff him in under 20 minutes. They all tapped out at around the 10-minute mark, beaten and bloody. And he didn't throw a single punch, just twisting and turning, accidental elbows and knees and shoulders. 5 guys under 30 against a 40-year-old tiny sergeant. They couldn't do it. And we were several weeks in at that point. We had several defensive tactics and use of force classes. We learned speed cuffing and pressure points and Jason Bourne jitsu. They couldn't fucking do it. The Spaces room was too big to chime in, but I'll tag the X account that asked the question. If you follow me, You know I'm not a cop apologist. Hell, I have a segment called Dumb Cops. My favorite thing to do on this show is rag on awful, corrupt, brutal police officers. I fucking loathe them. But that's my 2 cents. I won't even get into how many times I couldn't get cuffs on somebody with several officers helping. You basically have to outlast the other guy and tire him out. Pepper spray was the best tool, but it seems to be pretty ineffective in Minneapolis for some reason. Get it? Pretty? Now time for the FAFO of the day.
Federal agents sprayed a protester in the face with a chemical irritant while he was pinned to the ground.
What the hell?
The image was captured by a Minnesota Star Tribune photographer who said witnesses told him federal agents had taken away at least 2 teens, sparking tension at the protest. According to the photographer, the scene grew even more heated when a Border Patrol agent shoved a woman with a bicycle to the ground.
And let's move into We Was Kangs.
Here's the court number.
I'm not touching that ticket that you're illegally issuing me. You weren't even here to assess the crash, yet you try to tell me that I gotta have a ticket.
Look at your car.
I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Don't touch me.
If you
Don't
want, we can
fucking
ask how
touch
your
me.
Sterling Heights
Don't
was.
fucking touch me. Go ask, because the bitch is paid. Go ask. They wouldn't even issue me a new license. You see the tickets on there?
You're
Don't
getting a
fucking
ticket.
touch me. No, I'm not.
And after We Was Kangs, we counter with white people. The wood of the day comes from Lake Boss.
Wanna ride?
How about another wood from Tyler Ratcliffe? Now for the premiere of a new segment called What the Ever-Loving Fuck.
Come on, little baby. Oh, he fell in the mud. He fell as fuck. Ooh, yeah, big ass. Big ass. Yeah.
Now it's time for the final call. On January 29th, 1998, Patrolman Don Williams succumbed to gunshot wounds sustained on December 26, 1997, while moonlighting as a security guard at a comedy club at 2649 North Hollywood Street. A man whom he had ejected returned to the establishment and opened fire on Patrolman Williams at point-blank range. The round passed through his neck and severed his spinal column, leaving him paralyzed. He was admitted to the hospital in critical but stable condition. The subject who shot him was convicted of murder and was sentenced to death. However, he was granted a retrial in April 2012. His new trial ended with the hung jury. He agreed to plead guilty to second-degree murder and was released from prison in May 2013. On January 28, 2016, the man was convicted of an unrelated attempted second-degree murder, numerous weapons charges, and sentenced to life. The convictions were the result of an incident 2 years earlier in Memphis where he shot at a rival but hit a 14-year-old boy. Patrolman Williams had served with the Memphis Police Department for 16 years. He is survived by his wife and 3 children. Also on this date, 1932, Detective Fred R. Grant succumbed to a gunshot wound he received on August 22, 1931, by a murder and robbery suspect. The Shreveport Police Department had received tips that a suspect wanted for the robbery of a bank and the kidnapping and murder of a bank employee at the corner of Peabody and Butler Streets. When officers arrived at the corner, the suspect ran and hid at a house at 1523 Peabody Street. The suspect opened fire on officers while hiding under a deck, striking Detective Grant in the neck. The suspect was shot and killed several days later by a railroad police officer assisting local officers in in the search. Detective Grant suffered a hemorrhage 2 weeks after being released from the hospital. Detective Grant was a United States Army World War I veteran and had served with the Shreveport Police Department for 5 years. He was survived by his wife, mother, and brother. His father and brother had also served with the Shreveport Police Department. And I'll wrap up short today with a couple of timeline cleanses heading into Friday. Everyone have a great rest of the day. For those of you fighting that demon, always remember to stop, breathe, and survive, because fuck PTSD. Later, bitches.
No, he's gonna scratch.
I know you might not be able to tell from looking at me, but I am also a political refugee. I escaped from the People's Republic of New York. I think we have some New Yorkers in here. Woo! Yeah, you know that gay Muslim they're all obsessed with up there? Barack Obama.
Get him, Jay.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
You got DP'd.